what we're going to do today is we're going to have everybody weld some pieces together. So when we're all done, we'll have a large piece of welded together sheets. So everybody's going to get to run at least, I think, 3 or 4 beads. And I will critique and give you some guidance while you're going along so you can become better and better. Every one of these people did an excellent job, and as they got to go further along, they started out and they may not have been on par, like this one here was not quite, but towards the end they made great welds, and I think each and every one of you are capable of doing that, so I'm sure you guys will. If not, I will try my best to help you. So you want to wipe off any oil because it's going to vaporize, and that's not good for your health. So okay, start 2 sheets. But first, before anyone starts, I'm going to try and demo it for you. So the technique is fairly simple. You want to try and take one hand. Here, you want to funnel around in front of you. So you're going to take one hand, and you're going to use that as your brace. It's almost like, if you're thinking about it like, say, like a CNC machine, your left hand, like a 3D printer or something, your left hand is the controlling part, like the gantry on your machine. This is the depository. This is where it puts the metal down and actually joins it. So you're going to use your left hand and you're going to rest on your thumb, and then you can really move it around. You got a lot of control when you open and close your hand, you see? So this will allow you to really get a lot of authority over where you're putting the bead. Because if you're out here, you're just going to be all over the place. It doesn't matter how big you are. Like, I can't even hardly move straight down this line, even if I wanted to.
Now this is if you're right-handed? Is it opposite if you're left-handed?
That's a good question. I do not know the answer to it. I would guess...
You generally put the gun in your right hand?
I do, yes. I, without fail, put it in my right hand. You can do some weird ones, like if you're trying to get up under something and hit it with your left, but I have no control over there, so it's kind of...
It takes practice.
Yes.
Do you always want to work with gravity? You're trying to weld down into the material?
If you can.
Yes.
Sometimes when you can't, move over it.
You're right, though. You can, so say you're doing a vertical weld, I actually find it's easiest to start at the top and work down, but you want the wire to go against gravity because then it'll push it into the corner. But that's just, depends on the scenario, etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack weld. So tack weld, again, I'm kind of putting my hand on the frame somewhere, or you can put your elbow into your gut and pull that elbow into your gut to get a more firm stance. Okay? Or you can put like an elbow on the table and you can rest your hand, like rest it in your hand and then move it along with your wrist. Does that make sense? So you're going to want to try and support the gun. Because if you don't support it and you don't control where it's going, you're going to get a weld all over the place. Okay? So tack weld is fairly easy. What you do is bring it down, you bring it to the edge where you want to join 2 pieces, and you pull the trigger for about 1 or 2 seconds. So it's just 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, that sort of thing. You know, you're going to stay on there just long enough to make about a pea-sized joint. And you do it on one side and on the other side, and that makes it so you can join them without warping them. Okay? A structure like this frame can be made entirely of tack welds. So just 1 second here, 1 second there, 1 second here, 1 second there, and then it won't warp. And after you've tacked the entire thing, you can go back and do full welds where you need to. And that will counter any warping that will happen, okay? And I'll show you some more, but we'll see it. So I'm going to tack this right here. Yeah, the helmet's down. I'm going to say welding, and then that's when the darkness, or the bright light will come, okay? So, helmet's down, and be ready for it, okay? Welding. This is what a tack should look like. It should be a little pea-sized dot. This one's a little big. Usually they're quite a bit smaller, okay?
A couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
How much wire do you want coming out of the tip when you get started?
When you get started, you want between a 1/2 inch and 3/8 inch, and you should never get more or less than that, really. So you want to try and maintain a 1/2 inch or a 3/8 inch gap between you and the piece. If you get too far out, you'll actually see bubbles on the surface, and I'll show you guys that. You'll definitely see it, and I'll tell you about it when it shows up, okay? The further you get out, the less the gas gets down there to protect the metal, and the bubbles come in, okay? If you get too close, you'll start welding those little beads that we had to remove at the beginning to the inside there. You'll start seeing them a lot. And then you can't even melt the tip in the inside there. Ryan did that yesterday and we had to replace the tip. So you don't want to get too close towards touching. You should never be touching. But you don't want to get too far because you'll start to see bubbles. And it's very obvious.